There we go. Okay. Good morning, everybody. I'm Allie Jackson, and I'm with Centennial Escrow, and have a couple of my hot property friends on here as well today, Ricky Bright and Brandon Goldberg, who Brandon's actually going to be providing a little bit of insight on some of this content marketing materials that we're going to cover today. So appreciate that you can all join us. And let's see here. I'm going to just share my screen. Bear with me here. And we're ready to rock and roll. You should be seeing my screen now, do you? Is that okay, good. Awesome. Yep. It's always good to get a thumbs up to make sure that what I think I'm sharing is what I'm sharing. So nobody wants to see my grocery list, right? Okay. Well, I'm as I said, I'm Allie Jackson, and today we're going to talk a little bit about content marketing and what that is, and why am I qualified to even talk about this. So before I jumped in as an escrow representative, I actually spent quite a bit of my career in corporate marketing as well as working for ad agencies. So here's a little bit of a bio for me. And what I recommend you do as you talk about your content is have your own bio, have your, I don't know, elevator speech that we call it. If you're ever involved in something like the Chamber of Commerce or a BNI or networking group, typically you need to have your bio kind of zeroed in. So that is just a segue into content, and content you know better than anybody else, which is all about you. So take a little bit of time and work on that and be comfortable so that when you're introduced, you can give a brief summary of who you are and what you do. So we're going to jump on in. Why is this not moving forward here? I'm sorry. Guys? My apologies, folks. I seem to be having a little bit of problem getting my slides forwarding.
Are you able to alt tab over to your PowerPoint and then click next from there?
It's going to next on resume slideshow. There we go.
There we go.
All right. Yes, there's nothing like having a little techno glitch. So there's, like I said, there's my bio, just indicating that I've worked in the past with ad agencies as well as some corporate roles. And but now I've shifted back into the realm of real estate, which is where my roots are. My parents are home builders. My mom was a broker for over 50 years. And now I'm working in escrow and absolutely loving it. And this is an opportunity for me to share a little bit about what I did in the past in marketing with all of you. So we're going to keep moving on here. And Ricky, I do appreciate your letting folks in who are jumping in and joining the call today. Yep. So content marketing. What is content marketing? A lot of folks think it's just digital, and it's actually more than that. Content is copy. It's what you're saying. And I recommend having a very integrated approach to your content. So while we are going to look a fair bit on digital, it really is a strategic marketing approach that coordinates all of your communication so that, you know, ever hear that saying, what the right hand knows what the left hand is doing? That's really what you want to do with your content so that you have a consistent voice and message about who you are and what you're trying to say to your target audience. And the idea is to drive folks into some sort of an action, or sometimes it is just to inform and keep your brand awareness. So as I said, it's normally referred to in the digital space, but really when you look at integrated marketing, you want to coordinate what you're saying in your direct mail, in your social media, in your email content, in print advertising, what you're saying in YouTube. You want to have a consistent voice and messaging for who you are, because what it's going to do when you integrate your traditional, you know, which is more your print type marketing, along with what you're doing digitally, it's going to have more impact. So that is sort of the definition of what content marketing is. And why do you want to plan your content? Well, we all know we have a little bit more time right kind of. I mean, I know holiday time is a little bit crazy, but as you're ramping up and you're in spring and you've got, you know, several deals in escrow and you're trying to reach out and get new things in your pipeline, it really helps if you sat back in advance and kind of figured out the broad stroke of what do I want to say this year. And so that makes it a lot easier when you can create some sort of a template and some sort of a plan behind what you're going to say and when. It just makes it easier as you're going warp speed, that you've already kind of figured out what you're going to say to who and when and how. Another benefit of this is you're able to change up your content because you thought through it. So you're not saying the same thing over and over. You don't want to bore folks by saying the same thing over and over. You want to mix it up and make it relevant. So making it relevant is, you know, in June talking about grads, and in December talking about the holidays, and in July talking about Independence Day, these types of things. So it allows you to be relevant. That's the seasonal relevant that I'm talking about. People will want to engage with you, with your messaging. And basically the benefit of planning out your content is that you get to stay top of mind. You're always in front of folks, you're relevant, you're interesting, and you're top of mind, so that maybe someone doesn't have a real estate need right now, but because you've been up and in front of them and they've been engaging with you, when they do, or when they know someone who does, they can refer. So that's really the whole idea of why you want to keep regular, consistent content. I do want to pause for a sec. If anyone has any questions, feel free to unmute yourself and jump on in, or just go on into the chat section and you can type in your question or comment. This is a interactive webinar, so it's much more interesting if everyone jumps in and shares their experiences or asks questions. So please, we're a casual group. Feel free to do that. Okay. When we're talking about content, it's very helpful if you have a resource to go to. So I've outlined a couple resources that are available. Many of these are free. Many of these are free at an entry level, and then you can upgrade with a subscription. Trust me, there are so many resources that you could subscribe to. You could spend a fortune on all of them. So I recommend you go into some of these, find what resonates with you, something that you find easy to use, and one or two things you might want to do a subscription upgrade. But a lot of them also offer a free trial. So, you know, I'm just throwing out a whole bunch of things. And if there, by the way, is some content resource available that I'm not mentioning or that Brandon's not going to mention to you, share it. I mean, that's how I've learned about many of these resources, were agents like you coming forward and saying, oh, I really like this program and I like that. So that's where some of this has come from. But keeping current matters. Anybody use that or aware of it? That's a great resource. And some of these resources I'm going to have here, they allow you to fill in the blanks with some of your content. So you might find a good newsletter template that you want to use. And by the way, you are always welcome to repurpose the emails that I send out, or the monthly market updates that I send out. You can take that and send that out to your database, and post directly. So feel free to do that, but these are just some more resources so that you are staying top of mind. The Paperless Agent, and they also, by the way, have some really good trainings. They have trainings on scripts that you can use, so that's a great resource. Realty Times, so that is one of the resources that has newsletters, and you can borrow content from that. Lighter Side of Real Estate, that's fun. Does anyone come across that? You see that in Facebook, repost? Anyone? Bueller?
Is this for the lighter side of real estate that you're mentioning?
Yes.
Yeah, a lot of people post things from there. Good, like comical posts.
Yeah. And that's fun. You know, you want to mix things up. You don't always want to have one stoic voice with what you're putting forward. So sometimes I'll see something and I'll just repost it from there because it is funny, or humorous images that are real estate related. So that's a great resource. Canva. Anybody use Canva? So if if you can use PowerPoint, you can use Canva. They're very similar. Stacy, did you want to say anything, or you're just sharing that you've used it? Canva's great. So, and we can get into that too. Some people like to create their own stuff. So when we get into user generated content, Canva is a really good resource for that. And other folks just hire someone to do their design for them. But, you know, it's something you can get in, play around with. There's actually a Facebook group for realtors using Canva. So that you can just search Canva in groups, and that'll probably pop up, or Canva Realtor, and you should be able to find that. Your brokerage probably has a lot of really fantastic branded things that you can use. I know a lot of different brokerages do. They have resources available. And you also do want to check in with your broker to make sure that you are following their guidelines. And when you are posting things, you want to make sure basic things like you got your DRE on there. So, you know, definitely make sure you're following the brand guidelines that your broker has. And as I said, they probably have a lot of great templates for you. They probably have some content available for you. Or if you're in a boutique brokerage, maybe you and some of the agents you work with want to come together and share your ideas. So you take turns rotating around who's doing what, and really, again, building that brand amongst yourself. So definitely check out your broker's resources. Now, something I think probably everyone on this call is getting, but if you're not, put that in comments, and I will make sure that you get it, are Altos reports. Those are the real-time market reports that every Monday morning you get an email from me that you can click through and see what's going on in San Diego. You can zero in and say, okay, what's happening in Carlsbad? Or you could zero in even more because you're going to a listing presentation at a condo in 92008, and you can pull that up and bring that along. So that is fantastic. But one thing that's really cool is if you specialize in a particular city, or you just say you want to talk about San Diego in general, you can go into that Altos report and pick any of those charts. I really like that. I call it the thermometer chart, which is the market action index. And you can click that, right click it, and you can post it right on your LinkedIn. You can post it on your Facebook. So that's a really cool tool, super way to, again, just get that content out there in a digital manner. And it's fast and easy, and it speaks to you in real estate. So just mentioning that. And then there is a really fantastic tool that Brandon offers that you can take advantage of, an upgraded version of this for free, because he subscribes to it, and that is List Reports. And List Reports also has shareables. So I'm going to ask Brandon to kind of take it from here and talk a little bit about List Reports and all that it can do for you.
Yeah, thanks so much. So I don't know if if you can play, this is actually a video that I think more concisely than me can go over a lot of the different things that it offers. And just so you guys know, in the chat, I did put the link to that Canva for Realtors group, so you can join that if you want. Yeah, if the video can't play, yeah, exactly. I can kind of go over some of these content resources. And List Reports is great. It offers a ton to you. And like Ali said, it's free when you're linked up with a loan officer that subscribes to it. But it is, although it offers a lot, it is also actually really simple to use. If it's not something you're comfortable with, I can create the marketing kits for you, which is kind of more what you see on the right of this, where it gives you all kinds of infographics for, like, let's say you've got an open house coming up. It can tell you about the schools in the area, the walkability, and it's all really well visually represented, so it's easy for people to read. You can make a single property website, and it's all linked to the MLS, so it's not like you've got to retype everything in there and that sort of thing. So it can make open house flyers, so many different things that it does. But one thing that Ali had spoken about, aside from open house flyers and things that you're handing, is also some social media content as well. And they do send out a daily email to you, which includes shareables that you can use as graphics, just like the things you get from Keeping Current Matters and stuff like that. Obviously, they're a little more visual, so that people that are looking on social can get the idea pretty quick. But yeah, it does so many different things. The open house tools are awesome. Gives you a lot of great information to have at open houses, so you can kind of you can even frame them and put them around the house so people can see, you know, the schools in the areas, things like that. Market analytics. There's so many different things that List Reports offers, but I don't want to get into it too much detail because it is really easy to use. And I think if I inundate you with so many things that it offers, it might make it seem more challenging to use than it is. It's really just a couple clicks. The marketing kits, like I mentioned on the right of your screen, those get created in literally usually under like a minute to 5 minutes. It's done and ready for you to print or share or send. So I think that's a pretty high level overview of kind of what List Reports is and what it offers. But if there's any questions about it, or if I can help in any way, just say the word. If you're not signed up already, you know, let Allie know. We can get you signed up for free.
And you know, something that's really cool with those marketing kits, say you're sitting in open house for somebody else, you can pull all that info right from the MLS where it shows the photos of the listing, but you can brand it to you because you're working that open house. And when, you know, when you have potential buyers coming through, they leave with your info, which is really nice. You do still want to indicate whose listing it is, but that's just another really cool feature that you can customize it.
Yeah, and sorry, just to add one more thing, they do even offer things as simple as open house sign-in sheets if you wanted to print your own. One thing we've started doing is raffles at our open houses to get more accurate information when people are coming to your open houses and signing in. So if you wanted to talk about that in further detail, usually what it is, we're raffling off like a TV, a quarter, or something like that. And literally all people need to do is fill out a simple form that's going to get information that's important to you, like how the house that they saw that you had open compares to what they want, you know, when they're thinking of buying and things like that, so that you can really reach out to them in a way that's personal and you know, uh, is useful as opposed to just, hey, are you still buying? Do you have a realtor? That sort of thing.
Pardon me. I'm sorry. Yeah, and there's a couple other really cool things that you get by pairing with Brandon versus if you just go to List Reports without pairing with him. Like there's this text signage banner that you can put on top of your for sale sign. So if somebody wants information and they can just text that number and then it's a hot lead that you get immediately. So, and then also shareables. So shareables are social media tools that you can pull and use. Again, it's just fresh daily content so you can stay top of mind, because it's great if you can post a couple times a day and not post the same exact thing. So there's nothing like user-generated content that you're going to create yourself. But I mean, come on, how much are you going to be able to come up with over and over and over again, right? So it's really fantastic if you can find some sort of in the can content, and shareables is great for that. Are there any questions about List Reports or anything else that we've talked about so far? Feel free to unmute and just jump on in.
Yeah, while people ask, that is kind of what I was mentioning with that email that comes in. It's got all those shareables that you can use, and it's great, especially if you struggle with posting consistently on social or struggle with finding things to add to your monthly newsletter and that sort of thing. It's exactly that. You're going to get free content, and hey, if it's something you don't like, it's not like it automatically posts for you, so you can just post the things you like, and it's pretty helpful.
So we will just keep clicking on here. All right, a few more free resources here. Calendar Lab. So after this meeting, I'm going to send the recorded link out, and I have a template that I created in Excel. It's really easy to use, and you can plop your themes in there and your weekly messaging that you want to make sure that you address. But that might not be your favorite template. So Calendar Labs has a whole bunch of different templates that you could pick up and use. free. Holiday insights. Now, this is actually a pretty cool resource. Things like National Donut Day and Dog Day and Son's Day and Daughter's Day and, Grandma Week or whatever, as well as, the major holidays. And it indicates things like, Halloween, if you don't remember that's October 31st. But so it's got everything in there. And pulling that up and tapping into that while you're developing your plan is really helpful, because you can identify, oh yeah, there's this holiday that I want to feature in my social or your newsletter or what have you. Another one is word swag. So inspirational quotes, another thing you can do. So if there's a quote that really, when God closes a door, he opens a window, what have you, certain messages that resonate with you that you can just pop up in your social, or you can put on the side of your newsletter. It's fantastic for that. So word swag. As I mentioned, Canva. So that is if you want to take certain messaging that you find somewhere and create a design for it, or say you're going to put on a seminar on first-time home buyer seminar, and you want to create a flyer for that, Canva is a great tool to do that. And it's great to maybe pair with a lender on something like that too, right, Brandon? So anyhow, Canva is great for that. Picto charts, again, templates, infographics. As I said, I'm just throwing out a whole bunch of tools, resources that you can tap into and fool around with and find which ones really work best for you. Snappa is another one, and that tool you can go in and post directly from there. MailChimp. So who here has a database together and likes to email? It is an important way to keep in touch. We all talk about keeping in touch, right? So you definitely want to get your database together and send out some kind of a drip campaign, if you will, just with information where they can look at the holiday lights. That's a great thing that you can email out right now, or your regular newsletter, information about yourself, information that someone might find helpful, seasonality, where you can see the fireworks. That's a great one to put out around 4th of July. So MailChimp is a free email tool. And some of you might have an email component to your CRM. You might have a CRM going through your brokerage CRM system, or you might want to find something like HubSpot. It's free. I use LionDesk. My company uses a different one called Emma, but there's lots of different ones out there. Now, it's probably included, a lot of brokerages include your CRM tool, which has an email component with your brokerage fees. Personally, I'm not a huge fan of putting your full database and having everything tied to your brokerage in case someday you go a different direction. So I always recommend keeping your database separate, or at least keeping it updated and downloading it on the regular so you have it, because that is your goal. That's your sphere of influence. That's your past clients. That's your prospects. I'm almost getting into a whole nother training here on protecting your most valuable asset, which is your sphere of influence. But when we're talking about a CRM, and it might be super convenient and already paid for to work with the one with your brokerage, it is still beneficial to keep all your contacts, even if it's on an Excel spreadsheet somewhere. But definitely, that's your gold mine. But anyhow, you can I know LionDesk is great. You can email right off of that. You can even embed video right within there. So I'm kind of a fan of that. But as we're talking about content, and the real buzz is, ChatGPT. And Brandon did a whole Marketing Monday on ChatGPT, but I'm just going to ask him to give a, bird's eye view of what it is and how it can make content development much easier for you.
Thanks. Yeah, I just dropped the Marketing Monday with Allie and me for ChatGPT in here because it was a full hour on it. So obviously we can't get too in depth with it right now. But if you wanted to watch that, I do have I can send you timestamps if you want, but the deck is on there, Allie's information, everything like that. And then just going to exactly what we're talking about here. Can I share my screen, Allie? I'll try. Let's see. Here we go. Okay, so on here, can you guys see ChatGPT on my screen? You guys familiar with what this looks like? Allie's coughing. I'll take that as a yes. So what I wrote here is just, look, I'm a realtor in San Diego. I'm working on putting together a content marketing plan for the new year. I want this to be professionally casual. You can put the tone and that sort of thing in here. These are all kind of things we talked about in that Marketing Monday. But you tell it exactly how you want it to be, personable and related. And oops, sorry, I should have said relatable. Can you help me out with topics and ideas for what to post, what to share via email, and what to mail out or run ads for? And it's going to give you a bit of a marketing plan, kind of what Allie's talking about here. Give it just 1 second to start pushing this out. But if it's going to do this, okay, feature local businesses, parks, community events in San Diego. This is something I'm sure you see a lot of people do, putting their favorite pizza place and that sort of thing. But you can actually dig into this a little further. So for example, Allie, can you give me a topic of something that would be shared or sent, and I can have ChatGPT work up the actual content for it?
New
And
Year's resolutions.
There you go. That's a great one. Okay. So if we come in here and say, my first theme of posts will be New Year's resolutions on every Tuesday of on every Monday of the new year of January. Can you create some captions for these posts? And this I use almost as a tool to help my own creativity go. Not necessarily that you're going to take something specific, what caption it puts out here, and copy and paste it, but it might give you an idea of, okay, yeah, this is good. You can kind of tweak it to your way. This already knows you're a realtor, so it's including, let's make this your year for finding a new home, New Year's, new goals, what's on your real estate wish list. So all these kind of things you can then take and tweak to make your own. And later on, I don't want to, give away too much, but Allie's going to get into kind of calendaring out your content and posts, and you can take those ideas and then expand upon it here in ChatGPT to help create the actual content that you're going to post outside of just the ideas that Allie's going to give you for creating the framework. But again, if it's easier, you can check out that video. It is an hour-long training, but if you've got any questions, you can always reach out to me directly, and I'm happy to kind of walk you through. We can jump on a screen share or anything like that.
Did anyone have any questions for Brandon on this? Okay, well, I do recommend, if you can, to check that out and check out that training he did, because it was really great. All right, I'm going to pop back into my PowerPoint here. And I think it worked. Yes, it did. Okay. So I put a couple resources up here for those of you who want to do a little bit deeper dive. Maybe you're on Facebook but not on Instagram and you want to learn how. Melody Tao is fantastic. I've worked with her quite a bit on getting my social media set up. So she'll do certain laser marketing sessions with you over Zoom, record it so you can go back and refer to it, and it's very hands-on. Katie Lance is also a consultant. She has like a special boot camp. I'm familiar with her work, and she is very quality as well. So just wanted to put those resources up there for you. And they put on various courses as well. Melody speaks often with NSDC Realtors as well as SDAR. She does free sessions through them. So in-person sessions. So I highly recommend, if you can catch any of those, she does a really nice job. Okay. And I'm having a little trouble moving forward here again. There we go. All right, so this is the template that I was talking about. I'm going to provide one of these blank for you, but this will give you an idea of how you can fill it in and sort of this idea. So we got the month here and some relevant dates, things that are happening within those months that you might want to highlight or zero in on. Just suggestions that you can think about. Pardon me, I'm sorry, I'm getting over some new bug. I seem to get some virus every month, so this is my December bug, and it's impacting my voice, so my apologies on that. But anyhow, you can pick a theme, and then you can have certain messages that surround that theme that you can integrate into any advertising or flyers that you hand out in your farm, that you can integrate into your social media, through your newsletters that you send out, etc. So, like we were just talking about with January, what's going on in January is Martin Luther King, New Year's, opposite day is in there. So these are different things that you could put in. So you might want to have a theme around planning. So your first week, you can talk about the fresh start. That's a great thing to do. Failing to plan is planning to fail. These are messages that you might want to pop out here. And you want to get real estate in there. It's not only just real estate, but you do want to integrate that. And you might want to talk about time management, looking down here into May, Kentucky Derby, May Day, Cinco de Mayo, Mother's Day, Memorial Day. These are all things happening in that month. And you might want to have a theme about growth. So you can talk about the growth in your home value, the growth in equity, gardening made easy, that's growth, but it also ties into home, financial strategies, growing your income, growing your wealth and resources. Maybe family additions can come into growth. So these are just a few ideas here. We're in December right now, so these are all things going on in December. Festivus, that's kind of a fun one, right? Any Seinfeld fans here? So these are just some ideas of what you can do, days of giving and so forth.
Allie,
So yeah.
so, sorry to interrupt you. I know you're going to give them a blank one so they can create their plan. Are you going to give them a version of this too, or can they take a screenshot of this so they've got something to kind of use as a point of reference when they make their own?
Yeah, I can definitely send this out. So I can send both of these out. Like I said, these are just, ideas to get your creative juices flowing. But you can also jump into some of those calendar formats and the holiday formats and so forth to give you additional ideas while you're looking. All right, so we talked about content that you can use, borrow, that you can get idea starters through ChatGPT. But really, the most powerful content of all is user-generated content. And what that is what you come up with yourself. So you can have something from Keeping Current Matters or the lighter side of real estate that's funny, but it's generic. What user-generated content is you. It's about you. It's your photos. It's your family. If everything you post on social media is about real estate, people are going to, tune out. I mean, you want to integrate that so that people know you're their realtor and you're their go-to, right? But you also want them to know that you're their friend, you're the person with personality, who you are. People like to do business with people they like, right? So open up your personality and be real. It doesn't have to be slick. There is nothing like a live video of just you being you, or sharing a story about what happened that day, or putting up photos of artwork that your little one did, or I know some of you have a little puppy, picture of the latest shoes that they chewed. People get it, they relate to it. So that's really what user generated content is. It's organic content. So just some ideas here is, it's yes, part of your user-generated content should be your new listing, the tours that you're going to, when you have a property in escrow, when it's sold. Maybe you want to have a photo, if your buyers are comfortable with it, of you handing off the keys and having a key party. So that reminds folks that you're in real estate and you're active and you're rocking and rolling it, right? You can do market updates and tips, and you could do a Facebook live stream showing your garden and talking about gardening tips, these types of things. You want to integrate and share things that are going on with your family, especially now, holiday time, lots of gatherings with family and friends. And you may not want to have photos of your toddler. I know some people who don't like to show their kid on social media, but you can still integrate that you have children. It can be a picture of the wall art that your little one got a hold of the Sharpie and drew flowers all over your wall, and hey, guess who's painting today? So or the backside of your little one holding up a pumpkin, and there's a post that you have in October. So those are just some ideas. Your pets, everyone loves photos of pets. So video your, Cosmo. Anyone who's been on my social media sees all kinds of photos of my Cosmo. So it's more interesting. I threw a couple of these up that I just did recently. I go to open houses a lot. I do pop bys, and I'll often take photos of the brochures of the house that I stop by. But this particular day, I just took a selfie. I don't like selfies of me. I really don't. My arm looks big. I'm not fond of photos of me, but that's me. That's what I look like, and people know me. So I got much more engagement on that than I did of just showing brochures. So people like you, they want to see you, post yourself. And then you can take something. This is not my photo, but I thought it was really funny. And so I repurposed somebody else's photo at Halloween time and posted it the next day, that I'm so surprised I have all my leftover Halloween treats. So it's my sense of humor. Somebody else did the photo, I repurposed. So there's nothing wrong with doing that. So anyhow, you can do text information on your post, photos. This is where you can go in with Canva and create something that is you, an original. Or like I said, you can borrow things, but put your own twist on it. And there is nothing like live video. So that, I think, is among the most powerful user-generated content. So, just to summarize, what you want to start your year out with is take that bird's eye view of how you want to integrate all your content and have the right hand know what the left is doing, and have it synergistic so that your messaging has a consistent voice, feel, look across all of your platforms. You can leverage free, or you can also have some paid content if you'd like. Leveraging a combination of your own material as well as stuff that's already out there is going to give you so much more content, so you can stay top of mind, but you want to add your personal twist on it with your user-generated content. That's really important. And you just want to stay top of mind. That's the whole point of this, is having those newsletters go out, being up there on social media, so that when someone does have their real estate need, they think of you, right? Or when they know someone who does. Pardon me. So Marketing Monday. Anyone here know Tristan Mata? He created Lab Coat Agent. He is a fantastic agent, team lead, broker. He's chief marketing officer of Success Magazine. He's co-created a brilliant tribe, has incredible insights. He speaks on the regular. He recently wrote the book on prospecting. So he's going to be my next Marketing Monday guest on January 8th. So I will put a link in there so that you can register for that. He is a fantastic speaker, so I'm very excited to have him up. And if you have not joined the Facebook group Lab Coat Agents, I recommend you do, because that's a great place where you can share ideas with other agents. And sometimes people vet, sometimes they get in there and share a really good, successful marketing trick that they did or learned. It's it's for agents. It's for those of us in the industry. So it's a great group to join. Speaking of great groups, Brandon here, Ricky Bright, among my affiliate partners with Hot Properties. And so we run a pitch a couple times a month. Our next one is going to be January 4th. So I hope you can join us. We host that at La Papagayo, and it's a great place for some networking. From 3:30 to 4 we network, and then 4 to 5 we run the pitch. And you can join our Facebook group, which is if you just search for groups Hot Properties, if you're not already in it, definitely join. We show new listings in there. You can post what you're up to in there. So it's a fantastic resource. Here's my team. So pardon me, I really miss having my voice. We are in escrow, and a fantastic team. So Anna, Karen, and Jennifer are extraordinary escrow officers. If any of you have had the pleasure of working with one of them, I hope you have the pleasure again frequently. So I'm here as the sales and marketing representative to help you get more deals into escrow. So if we can help you out with that, we'd love to. We are a truly independent escrow company right here in Carlsbad. We do business not only all over the county, but we do business in other counties as well. So I've got some deals in Riverside and some in Orange County as well. So we're here to help you in any way. We're here to close escrow. So let's close escrow together. And I just really want to thank Brandon. We were connecting over the weekend, and I'm like, hey, you have that awesome tool list report. So would you mind sharing it and talking a little bit about ChatGPT? So thank you, Brandon, so much for jumping on today. I appreciate it. I'm sure everyone here does. And then also just want to thank Ricky, because he was letting folks in and, sort of keeping that chat going. So really appreciate that. So we're here to help you in any way that we can. Other than providing awesome content, Brandon is a loan officer. So he can help you with the cross qual, or help you get your buyers get it done. In fact, Brandon is kind of an expert. If you have a deal going south because there was a problem with the loan, he can make things happen in no time flat and save the deal. So he's a rock star.
Yeah, I appreciate that. And yeah, if anybody has any questions, it's easiest to text me 949-636-1981. But you can always email me too. That works great. And if there's any questions about, list reports or ChatGPT, just say the word. I know Allie is a great resource if you're wanting to dig into this a little deeper and build out your marketing plan. I'm sure she's happy to help you get more escrows. So just say the word.
Absolutely. And my last session that I did was on writing a marketing plan, and I have a template for that as well. So if you missed that one and want to see it, let me know. I can send you the link, and I'm happy to give you, that's just in a Word document. It just, again, is just a tool to help you get it going. And then I'm happy to have a one-on-one call or what have you to help you flush that out. So did anybody have any questions before we wrap up today? Looks like you're getting 15.
See a few thank yous in the chat. Don't know about questions. Maybe give it a second. Yeah, just more thanks. You did a good job, Allie.
Stop sharing there. All right. Well, thank you so much, everybody. I really appreciate your joining us, and want to wish everybody, if I don't talk to you before then, the happiest of New Year's. Let's get and those who celebrate Christmas, Merry Christmas, and let's get rocking and rolling. And 2024 is going to be a really good year. I have a good feeling about that. Anybody else? All right. Take care, everybody. Thank you so much.